welcome to my channel where it's Shay, and I am in Oakland, California at home and in a foreign place, y'all. I am in the gym. I haven't been in the gym in damn near probably 2 years, and that is horrible. I know you guys always catch me here, there, and everywhere, but this is one place I am never at is at the gym. So today is my first day on my weight loss journey. I scaled in today at 230 pounds, y'all. And Jazz is my guest. He's my brother, personal trainer. And I just seen a photo of me recently and I was like, hell no, I cannot be walking around looking like this girl right now. So I figured, let me start somewhere, and today is the day. To me, I went from a Coke bottle shape to a milk carton shape, y'all. That's how I feel personally. So I needed some help. So my guest that started off on this journey is my brother, Jazwyn. Jazz, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Tell the audience a little bit about your background, where you're located, and what you're doing now.
Okay, look, right now I'm located inside Atlanta, Georgia, down here in the South. Originally from Baltimore, Maryland. A little bit about my background. I'm an ex-professional athlete, basketball, played 13 to 14 seasons, primarily overseas in Europe, South America. Played down in Texas for a couple of years down there with Austin Spurs. Also down there, called up inside San Antonio, etc. Retired about 3 years ago. I would probably say right before, about a year or so before the pandemic. Since then, I have transitioned into personal fitness and personal training. Right now, currently, I'm over here at Lifetime outside in Alpharetta, here inside Georgia, which I am a Alpha Strength coach. Some of my certifications pretty much are going to be through National Academy of Sports Medicine. I have a DBC correctional exercising and also USA weightlifting level 1. Primarily, I work with a lot of different clients. Ideally, I work with a lot of athletes who are current athletes and prior or previous athletes. Work with a lot of youth as well. But I have had a lot of success in being able to help to transform and change the lives of many people in weight loss. Weight loss, I would probably say, is the number one thing that people are looking to go ahead and do inside our country. It's most times weight loss due to the fact of just the dynamics of our nutrition and processed food and things of that sort. Weight loss is very important. It's probably number one in terms of, statistics when you break down inside the country. But I have had a lot of success stories, been blessed to be able to help change around a lot of lives, and looking forward to being able to work with you as well.
Oh, thank you. What is some advice that you would give somebody like me or anybody else that's starting off to just don't get burnt out so fast and mentally prepare yourself for like just the first day, like for me today? Like, do you tell your clients like, hey, before you come in, start doing this, do that to get ready?
One of the biggest things you just said right now is just the mental, the mentality, the mind, preparing your mind, for what's getting ready to happen. The body will follow, once the mind has made made itself up. But I think that ultimately, just being able to prepare yourself mentally for the changes that get ready to happen, not only with your body, but also with nutrition and just those things in general. I would say that through my experiences, just to be patient with yourself. It takes time, it takes time. It takes a lot of times, a lot of preparation. It's something that you should ease into. Most people that you will see to just jump right into it, like, hey, I'm going to eat 1,700 calories a day. I'm going to sit around here and do this. I'm going to do 1,200 calories a day. I'm going to put myself in a calorie deficit. I'm going to just do this and do that. That's not anything that's sustainable. Anything that you talk about ability is something that you're going to gradually work yourself into. You're not going to go from eating whatever and not being accountable for what you eat and what you consume and not really working out to all of a sudden now jumping inside the gym, putting yourself inside of a caloric deficit. And then it's a situation where, you can't move the next day and you're like, you know what, the hell with this, and that's the type of situation that happens when things become very, people become defeated very quickly. So yeah. I think that ultimately it's situation, knowing where you're at, knowing where you're starting, having an actual solid game plan, sticking to it, and then surrounding yourself with people who are going to hold you accountable, push you, keep you, like I said, accountable and help you to be the best that you can be. So that's my personal opinion.
Okay. And I think that's where I was like all week, preparing for this day. It was like, okay, just getting in a morning routine of waking my body up earlier than expected. And even if it's just taking the dog out a little bit longer, just to start kind of just waking up my whole body. I guess having Paco for like damn near 10 years now, it started like, okay, we can walk, and now he's getting older. And it's like, it went from a good pace to a stroll. Like, I can't even count this as a damn walk. This was a stroll, and he's strolling. But poor buddy, he's so old now. But what are some of the do's and don'ts? I mean, you can't just jump on these machines, like stretching and hydrating. What are some things that you kind of start your clients off with doing?
Well, I'll start off with throwing a little bit of shade. I hate to say it that way, but it is the truth. Down here inside Georgia, you don't have to be certified in order to train people, which I think is a very, very dangerous thing. Analogies I give to that are, I'm not going to sit around here and you're not going to go to a dentistry that doesn't have his license. You're not going to go to a hospital that doesn't have the proper, certifications and, all those things. It's the same thing when you talk about somebody working with your body. A lot of times through my experiences, something that you didn't ask, but a lot of people look great aesthetically, but they don't necessarily have the knowledge to be able to teach. When I first started, I was come with the same. I expected people to be able to run, jump, move, just like I did. And you have to be able to meet someone where they're at and, understand where they're starting, where they're at mentally, where they're at physically. That's something that's going to be very important. As far as do's and don'ts, one thing that I'll probably say to you is that, I feel like a lot of times most trainers will go ahead and try to pick up the intensity. I want to make sure the person has a great workout. I want them to be able to struggle through it and see what it is. And I want them to really have to work hard and this and that. But at the end of the day, also, you don't want to hustle backwards. So now we talk about the fact that putting a person inside of a potential situation where they're in jeopardy of hurting themselves. Good. For me, a couple summers back, I'll probably say when the pandemic hit, I was forced to sit around here and more do workouts outside. Just for people to be comfortable and also just for safety precautions as well. I have a body weight basics program. All right. One thing I'll say to you is going to be very important is that you have to learn how to manipulate and control your own body weight before you even think about the fact of putting weight on your body. That's my purpose. If you cannot manipulate and control your own body weight, all right, we talk about different mechanics, biomechanics of human movement, squatting, lunging, push, pull, twist, gait. Okay, so we talk about certain movements that are going to sit around and be the biomechanics behind humanly bodily functions. Okay, pushing external weight away from your body, pulling weight internally towards your body, squatting, lunging, you're twisting, more so transverse movements, and also your gait, meaning your walk pattern and your running pattern. All right, so those are going to be very important to be able to conquer from a body weight standpoint at a high intensity, in my opinion, low intensity, high intensity. You can mix in between the two. But ultimately being able to control your body weight and be able to control, what you're doing before you put any type of stress on it. That's how a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, I think I tweaked something, or I think I did this, I think I did that. So I think that's going to be very important not to do. But like I said, meeting a person where they're at, putting out an actual game plan, that's the whole beauty behind programming. Things should be progressive. It shouldn't just be, I'm starting here at the max. It should be something where you're gradually going in the upward direction. So that would be probably one of my biggest things.
What about when you're starting it off, like you said, meeting a person where they're at? What about like, is it 2 times a week, 3, 5? How many minutes, hours, twice a day? What do you recommend?
Typically, when people first start, I usually start them off at either once or twice a week, preferably twice. There are things that are going to need to be done, outside of the fact of working together. In terms we talked about before, as far as being able to incorporate some type of yoga, elongation, being able to elongate the body, great for static stretching, recovery purposes, etc. It can be very spiritual for some people, but definitely from a physical standpoint, stretching is going to be very important. I would say at least 1 to 2 times a week, preferably 2, where I can keep my eyes on you. Most people, when they're starting, they want to start, they're gung-ho, they're ready to get going. And then it's like, all right, I work out, your body jumps into pretty much a state of alarm reaction. And then it's, I'm beat, I'm exhausted, and life happens, and I have to go to work, and I have these different things. And then that's when it starts coming into play, where the accountability piece starts coming into play. You do have other people as well that are just kind of like, all right, cool, I'm at it for the first 2 weeks, and then you know what I'm saying? I just not sitting around here doing it. I would say about 2 times a week to go ahead and initially start out. There will be things also waking your body up. Initially, your body's going to more than likely be inside of a state of alarm reaction in which your body is like, you know what in the hell are we doing here? Like I have in quite some time, you know, my hamstrings are tight, you know, my body is tight, I'm achy, you know, I don't like the way this makes me feel, but ultimately you got to stay locked in mentally. So 2 times a week, different exercise and different things as well that you're going to go ahead and pretty much get. As far as the rep ranges and time, etc. Initially starting out, 5 different pillars, right? You have stabilization, endurance. This is all NASM. Stabilization, endurance, strength, endurance, hypertrophy, maximal strength, and in your power stages. When you start inside the first 2 stages, it's more of a higher repetition, more so stamina and endurance. So we're talking about anywhere between about 12 to 15 repetitions. Now I'll probably say about 3 to 4 different sets, usually lightweight, in which we're making sure we're getting full extension, making sure we're getting full contraction, and making sure we're more so stamina and endurance based, as opposed to later stages, which is more power, more explosiveness with more rest time and things of that sort. So it's you're basically burning your body out, you know, burning your body out in the sense of endurance, stamina, picking up the repetitions, 3 to 4 sets, making sure you're getting good work.
But my goal is 50 pounds. So what is kind of realistic of like, oh my God, I'm on the scale every Sunday and I'm not seeing shit happening. So like, what's really realistic for 50 pounds for someone, I'm gonna say me, to where I'm not feeling like this is not working, I'm not seeing anything, or like you said, your body's about to go into a shock, you know, so is it like maybe October, I should be seeing like half of this gone, or I don't want to be like, oh, I need all this gone by August 10th. Like, just no, it's not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of different things out here that are a lot of fad meaning more so like they're just trending right now. You have military diets, you have keto, you have these different things. Not to say that those things don't work. Keto does work. I've seen some great success stories within keto. Most times what you'll go ahead and see are quick fixes. All right. Put yourself inside of a caloric deficit, up your intake in terms of, your cardio, your working out, everything else. Initially, your body's going to say, you know what, I'm going to burn. However, the problem is this, though, is that in my experience thus far, you'll see a lot of great before and after pictures, but it really is the after, though. You know, it's not sustainable, and your body cannot sit around here and maintain doing, that for a long amount of time. That's something that you want to go ahead and do when you get ready for vacation. You're getting ready to, of course, you have your prep coaches, et cetera, though. But those types of modifications, those types of changes happen when you get ready to do shows, when you're getting ready to sit around and go on vacations, quick things, all right? You sit around and put yourself in a complete caloric deficit. You're upping your activity. You're incorporating sauna. You're doing these different things. You're going to shed and drop. But like I said, we're talking about the fact of things being sustainable. We're talking about a lifestyle change. Those things take time. So ultimately, I think from a mental standpoint, it's being patient with yourself. I understand this isn't going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things I think is about, and a lot of people think it's about working out. Working out is the easy part. It's really when it comes down to is the nutrition side. Nutrition is going to be huge and really keying in on that. As far as about the reality of the situation, the scale may or may not move right away. It really depends on your body. Most times people who have not worked out for a certain amount of time, what it comes down to from a digestive standpoint is your metabolism. Your metabolism most times not working and it's not very fast at all. What I mean by digestive system and your metabolism is how fast you're consuming food and your breakdown of your food. How fast is your body working? When you talk about the concept of your body being a machine, what's going on with your body? How are things? What's the process? How long is it taking? And ultimately, the goal is being able to speed up your metabolism so things are fired up and running properly and running at a faster pace. Now, when you talk about the fact, the difference between male and female, what? Testosterone, all right? Something that women don't have a very, very much of, unless you're shooting up or doing any type of illegal types of injections, et cetera. Of course, with women, you have estrogen levels, okay? Hormone levels come into play. Most in general, women are going to retain more water than men in general, okay? So a lot of times you talk about the fact of bloating or when you talk about eventually menstrual cycles, et cetera, you are going to have some type of, a lot of inflammation and bloating and different things, et cetera. So a lot of things come into play. So I think that ultimately, if you're really getting down to it, not trying to be sexist at all, but it's a tough comparison when you talk about male and female. I think the
Right.
male is going to be able to get results probably quicker. But like I said, as far as females, it's going to be a little bit slower, but it does happen though. It just takes time. Each person is different, to be able to sit around and say like, hey, give it, 2 months. And then it's hard to say. Some people start off, you get nothing at all. You start to see slight changes. Most women will go ahead and judge themselves off of more so their measurements and, how the way their clothes fit. That'll be more so their measurements. Here at Lifetime, for example, we use an in-body machine, which will give you all different measurements in terms of your weight, in terms of your body fat percentages, in terms of your water levels, all those things of that sort. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different things that come into play. Like I said, it's hard to be able to say, give it 2 to 3 months. Typically, I would say within 3 months, ideally from my experiences, that's when things, kind of start changing around. But it really depends on how hard you're going and what type of dedication and what type of work you're actually putting in. I think that ultimately comes down to play for a lot of it.
Yeah. And with me being a person that travels a lot and also experiencing the culture, sometimes the culture that added on to this weight, being a foodie person. But I noticed at a lot of hotels that I stay at, they do have gyms, like the one that I'm sitting in right now. So I do want to still continue my workout while I'm traveling, staying, even if it's like going on excursions and being active, and if it's kayaking, hiking, whatever, I kind of want to start incorporating that as well to kind of keep my routine while I'm traveling and things like that. And then trying not to get bored at it as well, I think is one thing. Back in Houston, I was going to like kickboxing and seeing like major results, and even joined belly dancing. And I was like, this shit ain't gonna work. And I was like, damn, I don't even know what this feeling is in my back from belly dancing, but it was really impactful to me. But when COVID hit, that's when I just seen like everything just start gaining on me. When I had lost 30 pounds and I was like, all right, I got 20 more to go. And then COVID hit and it was just like remote work, sitting next to the refrigerator, ain't nothing else to do around here. So right now I'm just trying to get back in my mindset of being motivated and hell, as much rent as I pay out here, I might as well take advantage of a free gym downstairs. So I was like, let me just start. Today is my day. And speaking of machines, I'm gonna turn the camera around and kind of have you touch on some things that I should be doing and are not even worried about right now. So hold on real quick.
Okay.
See. Okay, so these are just weights.
Mm-hmm. What's the heaviest weight that goes up to? As far as the dumbbell?
The smallest is 5. No, actually it's 50. 50.
Okay, gotcha. Go to okay.
And these are some of the benches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what half of these damn machines are called, so you're gonna have to. So this one has a lot of different little directions, I guess, on how to do some of these activities on here.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Oh, starting off, right there from what I saw thus far, of course, you have your workout bench. If it does have any type of different attachments, it will be able to go from a complete flat bench into like an incline as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a decline bench at all. So pretty much you're looking at flat surface and also like an incline. As far as the dumbbells are concerned, both being weight equivalent on both sides as opposed to a kettlebell, going up to about 50 pounds or so. You said the lightest is a 5. That's a great one because you can have range of motion. As far as the other part of the assisted machinery that you're going to find is pretty standard and basic that you're going to find inside of most apartments. You're going to find in most hotels, etc. And which you can go ahead and do a lot of different variations of different workouts, henceforth the pictures, etc., including, tricep, extensions, kickbacks, bicep curls using cables. You can sit around here, put yourself inside of a goblet squat position using the certain bars and straps. You'll be able to do pull-ups. You'll be able to do a lot of different things. So in essence, really breaks down to being able to kill multiple birds with one stone. So that particular, piece of equipment is a pretty much standard piece you're going to find in those types of places. So that's what I see so far.
Okay. This, I guess,
The
like
row
a
machine.
little, yeah.
Yep. So you got a row machine. It's just like a solid one. With an overhand, underhand grip row machine. You know, great device. Be able to get some nice cardio in as well. All right.
All right, here goes some kettlebells. I try to stay clear of them.
Yeah, kettlebells are great. There's a kettlebell course that you can pretty much kind of go through. Like I said, the weight is going to be more so all on side the bottom, as opposed to being equivalent on both sides as opposed to a dumbbell. Kettlebells are great. You'll see most times the most famous things you'll see with kettlebells are going to be like kettlebell swings, which is more of a hip thrust, you know, squeezing the glutes, hinging at the hips off inside the knee. You'll go ahead and have those. You'll have goblet squats, those things of that sort. Of course, you also have the medicine balls as well. Getting into your treadmills, of course, a lot of different things you can go ahead and do in terms of being able to pick up and be able to, you know, get your endurance, get your cardio in.
Is it good to start flat or good little inclines and things like that?
Well, really it comes down to the, you know, what it comes down to is the treadmill itself and getting a chance to just kind of see the surface. You know, you always want to try to keep things as low impact as possible. Being as though that you're not, of course, in your, you know, teenager in your 20s, you know, you got to think about the hard impact body. Ultimately, I would probably tell you initially starting out is just getting yourself moving and getting active, more walking. So we talk about different levels and zones here at Lifetime. So I would probably say like a zone 1, zone 2 situation for a long duration of time. So we're looking at anywhere between maybe a half an hour, maybe to about 35 minutes or so. Of getting some good walking in, gradually getting into some nice incline, increasing the difficulty from there. But like you guys have plenty of treadmills, which is a great thing. Elliptical machine right there as well. More low impact for people. The most times you'll see to have, you know, deterioration inside the knees, body. You know, they're coming back at it, et cetera, but they do want to get moving. So of course you can go ahead and increase resistance, which will make the elliptical a little bit harder. But very good machine as well.
Okay.
Of course, you got the bikes. One of the biggest companies that I think to flourish inside the pandemic was the Peloton, in which they've also now come out with the actual treadmill itself. Great. I don't know if they actually has that capability. What most people do not understand is this: even if it's not a Peloton bike, what you can do is download the app and you can go ahead and follow those instructions and follow the videos from there. But just in general, outside of that, the bike is great in general as well. It's very low impact, and you'll be able to get a nice workout from there as well.
And this is the last of the last. Most
people, it's a love-hate relationship most times with people, whether it be the actual Stairmaster itself or it's made by Matrix or by a Life Fitness, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like a bigger.
Yeah. Okay,
Matrix. So Matrix is a very good one. Stairmasters are very, in my opinion, very low intensity. Most people that you'll see on there are going to be bodybuilders. And other people you're going to go ahead and see in there is your regular everyday type individuals. It's a slow burn, in my opinion, depending on your intensity. Most people go in there between 30 to 40 minutes and you're going to sweat your behind off. In essence, you're sitting around here walking upstairs. No real resistance is really added, but it's a great workout. Nice, slow pace, slow burn type situation.
Okay. And I think over here is like a yoga room.
Okay, great one. You got stability balls right there of all different sizes. From there, you have some bands as well, which you can sit around, of course, just as an example. Bicep curls, doing different things, etc. Like you also have slam balls as well. Being able to kind of mix things up. It's a nice small room. Most times from a yoga standpoint, unless you're doing individual workouts, you probably want to have a little bit more room, but that's a great one for yoga or on your own doing static stretching. Maybe come in there, maybe doing some jump ropes, some things like that to kind of isolate yourself away from the regular workout field. So like you have a nice mixture between, you know, a nice workout station for where you are right now. And also some stuff where you can kind of do for static stretching, doing core stretching, all those things of that sort.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to talk to me today. And I'm getting excited. I got to start sometime. So just today is the day. I guess I just gotta, like you said, it's just a mental thing and staying motivated with it and having some accountability partners. So I'm gonna apologize to you in advance if I cuss you out. You know I love you.
I keep earplugs, so yeah.
Okay, so what's one little takeaway everybody can get from this video? Some motivation, a little keyword.
I would say to you, just to be patient with yourself. Things aren't going to happen overnight. Most people that gain weight, that are looking to, go down a weight loss journey, you did not gain the weight overnight. So put out your mind that it's going to happen overnight. I think that ultimately, like you talked about before, previously inside the conversation, that, looking at the scale every single Sunday or weighing yourself every day, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? You can keep yourself accountable, making sure that you're holding yourself accountable, but also it can be kind of defeatist as well, because you're looking for a change and, you're happy and, et cetera. But, don't get defeated easily. You be patient with yourself. Understand, like I said, it did not happen overnight, so it's not going to reverse itself overnight. Be patient and just show grit and show determination. Things happen when they're supposed to. It's just about the fact of staying locked in, working hard, and like I said, being able to write down your goals and holding yourself accountable. You get better on the days that you don't want to do it. And that may be every day. But a lot of times people will fall into, I feel like, the emotion about it, or like, oh, I don't feel like it. I had work, I had this, I had that. You got to stay locked in, and then you can do it. The human body is absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing. No machine to date can outdo or outperform the human body, in my personal opinion, because when you talk about the fact of putting together intellect as well as the actual human body, anything you put your mind to, you can do. So stay locked in, stay focused, stay determined, and you can do whatever you put your mind to.
All right. Well, thank you, Jazz, for joining me today. And everybody, I'll leave his contact information below. Probably do a follow-up video with him in about 3 months. And stay tuned to part 2. I'll be having a dietitian come on to talk about the nutrition side of it, because to me, it goes hand in hand. But thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.